when Wayne Gretzky came into this world, it changed sports history forever. Now, a lot of people that follow my channel know everything about Wayne Gretzky, but some don't know this. We're going to talk today about the early days of Wayne Gretzky before he turned pro, to kind of recount the unique way he became, for many, the greatest athlete in Canadian history, and for many, the greatest hockey player ever. Now, Wayne Douglas Gretzky was born on January 26, 1961, in the beautiful community of Brantford, Ontario, the son of Phyllis Leon Hawken and Walter Gretzky. The couple married in 1960 and lived in an apartment in Brantford, where Walter worked for Bell Telephone Canada. The family eventually moved in a house on Verratti Avenue in Brantford 7 months after Wayne was born, chosen partly because its yard was flat enough to make an ice rink in winter. Now, Wayne was joined by his sister Kim, born 1963, and brothers Keith, Glenn, and Brent. The family would regularly visit the farm of Wayne's grandparents, Tony and Mary, and watch Hockey Night in Canada together. By age 2, Wayne was trying to score goals against Mary using a souvenir stick. The farm was where Wayne skated on ice for the first time, age 2 years, 10 months. Now, Walter taught Wayne, Keith, Brent, Glenn, and their friends hockey on a rink he made in the backyard of the family home, nicknamed the Wally Coliseum. Drills included skating around Javex bleach bottles and tin cans, and flipping pucks over scattered hockey sticks to be able to pick up the puck again in full flight. Additionally, Walter gave the advice to skate where the puck's going, not where it's been. Wayne was a classic prodigy whose extraordinary skills made him the target of jealous parents. Now, according to published reports, when he became a high goal scorer, he was getting death threats, and his family was getting death threats at the rink, over the phone, which is kind of ironic, and in person, because a lot of people felt that too much attention was being paid to this guy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this all started when he was about 5 or 6. Now, the team Gretzky played on in '86 was otherwise composed of 10-year-olds. His first coach, Dick Martin, remarked that he handled the puck better than the 10-year-olds. According to Martin, Wayne was so good that you could have a boy of your own who was a tremendous hockey player, and he'd get overlooked because of what the Gretzky kid was doing, thus the death threats. Now, the sweaters for 10-year-olds were far too large for Gretzky, who coped by tucking the sweater in his pants and the right side. Of course, everybody knows this as Gretzky's good luck charm. Now, by age 10, Gretzky had scored an astonishing 378 goals and 139 assists in just one season with the Brantford Nadrowski Steelers. His play attracted media attention beyond his hometown of Brantford, including a famous profile by John Iboni in the Toronto Telegram in October '71. Now, in the 1974 Quebec International Pee Wee Tournament, Gretzky scored 26 points for Brantford. By age 13, he had scored more than 1,000 goals. His play attracted considerable negative attention from other players' parents, including those of his teammates, and he was often booed. Now, there's some tape out there that kind of talks about it, but he asked Gretzky what he thought. Well, he said, "I'm just here to play." Now, according to Walter, the capper was being born on Brantford Day at Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens in February 1975. Now, when Gretzky was 14, his family arranged for him to move to play hockey in Toronto, partly to further his career, and partly remove him from the uncomfortable pressure he faced in his hometown. The Gretzkys had illegally challenged the CAHA, or the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association, to win Wayne the right to play in a different area, which was not allowed at the time. The Gretzkys won, and Wayne played Junior B with the Toronto Nationals in a league that included 20-year-olds. He earned Rookie of the Year honors in the Metro Junior B Hockey League in 1976 with 60 points in 28 games. The following year, as a 15-16-year-old, he had 72 points in 32 games with the same team, renamed the Seneca Nationals. Now, despite his offensive statistics, scoring 132 points in 60 games in Junior B, 2 teams bypassed him in the '77 Ontario Major Junior Hockey League draft of 16-year-olds. The Generals picked Tom McCarthy first, and the Niagara Falls Flyers picked Steve Peters second overall. Not household names. Now, with the third pick, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds selected Gretzky, even though Walter Gretzky had told the team Wayne would not move to Sault Ste. Marie, a northern Ontario city that inflicts a heavy traveling schedule on his junior team. The Gretzkys made an arrangement with a local family they knew, and Wayne played for the Greyhounds at age 16. It was with the Greyhounds that Gretzky first wore the number 99 on his jersey. He originally wanted to wear number 9 for his hockey hero Gordie Howe. He became great friends with Howe, of course, down the road, but it was already being worn by teammate Brian Galassi. At coach Muzz McPherson's suggestion, Gretzky settled on number 99. Now, we look at the raw stats, ladies and gentlemen, for those early years. Doesn't really tell the whole story. I don't think there's any official numbers that can be looked at, but we're going to look at generally what it was. Now, with the Nationals in 76, again, 60 points. Seneca, 72 points in the regular season in 32 games, including 70 points in the playoffs, including 23 goals. Now, he did play with the Peterborough Petes in 77 with 3 games with 3 assists. But with the Greyhounds, he had 70 goals, 112 assists for 182 points in the regular season, and 26 points in 13 games in the playoffs. Now, just to put this in perspective, ladies and gentlemen, he was the greatest undrafted player in NHL history because he signed with the Indianapolis Racers in 1978. Now, at the lower levels, through the years, especially at the World Juniors, it was quite interesting. World Junior Championships, would you believe with all that talent, he only won bronze in 1978? It is what it is. Now, Gretzky made his first international appearance as a member of the Canadian national junior team at the 78 Championships in Montreal. The Canadian coach, Punch McLean, was originally skeptical of Gretzky's ability, as he was the youngest player to compete in the tournament at the age of 16. He went on to lead the tournament in scoring with 17 points during an all-star team and best forward honors. His 17 points remain the most scored by a 16-year-old in the World Junior Championships. Now, there, Canada finished with a bronze medal. Now, it was kind of weird how it worked. When the WHA came calling, it was in competition with the established NHL. Now, the NHL did not allow the signing of players under age 20, but the WHA had no restrictions. Several WHA teams courted Gretzky, including the Racers and the Bulls. Now, Birmingham Bulls owner John Bassett wanted to confront the NHL by signing as many young and promising superstars as possible, and saw Gretzky as the most promising young prospect. However, the Racers owner Nelson Scalabania, who on June 12, 78, signed Gretzky, then 17, to a 7-year personal services contract worth US $1.75. Gretzky scored his first pro goal against Dave Dryden of the Oilers in his 5th game, and his second goal 4 seconds later. Scalabania opted to have Gretzky sign a personal services contract rather than sign a player contract, in part because he knew a deal to take some WJ teams in NHL was in the works. He also knew that the Racers could not hope to be included among those teams and hoped to keep the Racers alive long enough to collect compensation from the surviving teams when the WHA dissolved, as well as any funds earned from selling the young star. Now, he only played 8 games for Indy. The Racers were losing $40,000 a game, and Scalabania told Gretzky he would be moved, offering him a choice between the Oilers and the Jets. On the advice of his agent, Gretzky picked the Oilers, and the rest is history. Now, the move was not that simple. Now, on November 2nd, Gretzky, goaltender Eddie Meal, and forward Peter Driscoll were on a private plane, not knowing where they would land or what team they would be joining. While in the air, Scalabania worked on the deal. Scalabania offered to play a game of backgammon with Winnipeg owner Michael Gobetti. The stakes being if Gobetti won, he would get Gretzky, and if he lost, he had to give Scalabania a share of the Jets. Gobetti turned down the proposal, and the players landed in Edmonton. Meal paid the $4,000 bill for the flight with his credit card. Scalabania sold Gretzky, Meal and Driscoll to his former partner, and then owner of the Oilers, Peter Pocklington. Although the announced price was $850,000, Pocklington actually paid $700,000. The money was not enough to keep the Racers alive, and he folded that December. Now, this was all before he ended up in Edmonton. But Wayne Gretzky's story in hockey, it's like this. The prodigal, what he put up with what Walter did right to move from Brantford. Again, a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old child should not be getting death threats from adults. And there's an underlying current in hockey where basically parents are so protective of their sons and daughters to become bizarre. I wrote a column once saying that all male and female hockey parents should be banned from the rink unless they take a course that allows them to be good fans, because you can cheer for everybody. But people don't want to take me seriously. Some of the worst people I've ever seen in the history of the planet are hockey parents. And why you're saying that? Well, if you're getting death threats for being a volunteer announcer because you're announcing a game where your son's squad is behind 9-1 and they're blaming you for it, which has happened to me. Tell you something, it's crazy. It's literally Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. But let's keep it to Wayne Gretzky. Personally, I don't like the guy, not because he's the greatest player of all time, but just the lack of respect he gave to Montreal Canadiens in '93 is kind of a big part of who I am. And 2002 we couldn't have won without Gretzky running the team. So, but like I said, just because I think he's one of the greatest athletes of all time doesn't mean I need to like him. But I don't want him dead. I want him alive to make jobs for Canadians. Because when Wayne Gretzky talks, and I don't like his politics, but I mean, to each his own. So if you like what we're doing here, we're a vintage podcast. Let us know with a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any thoughts about why Gretzky peaked so early and never unpeaked, let me know. Have a good day. Bye.